Waiting. Sorry, I never know when people are actually here or not, so I'm just going to talk to myself, tell people. Okay, there we go. Oh, Bree, you're the first person here. Hello. Hi. Wow, you weren't serious. I mean, kidding about, really being on top of this. Anyway, my friend Bree was the first person in this chat room, so chat room. Is that what this is called? I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, hello guys. Hi. I'm in a different room this time. My last live show the other day was, I couldn't find a good place with lighting in my new house, so I was just, my phone was like propped up on my bathtub, on the floor of my bathroom, so this is now the guest room. Very interesting. Anyway, you guys want to see BMO? BMO, say hello. That's my cat. Oh, she doesn't care. That's fine. What is happening? It's 3 a.m. where you are. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about time difference. I know that's a crappy thing. But anyway, let me start answering some questions. My room needs purple with a shadow black. I totally agree with you. However, this is the guest room, so my mom gets to control what happens with this room, and according to her, it's brown and white. Yeah, so maybe my room. I'm really sorry it's almost 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. wherever you guys are. I'm so sorry. It's only like 5:30 here, so, oops, sorry. The light looks like a boob. I know, I was thinking about that earlier when I was laying face up in bed contemplating my life. I have the same light in my room. Also a boob. A better boob, just to be clear. I'm a lot less nervous this time. This is good, because, I mean, if you saw my last broadcast, I was pretty nervous, like talking a million miles per hour. But anyway. Will I do signed copies of Shadows Burn? I plan to do that actually in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I figured it would probably be better to do signed copies around the time that I put the book out, which was yesterday. But the thing is that I couldn't order copies, like real copies, prior to yesterday, even as the author. So I'll have to order, I'm thinking about ordering about 20 copies and then doing some sort of thing to decide who gets them. Why did me and Matt break up? That was like a really long time ago. Like years and years and years ago. And sometimes just stuff doesn't work out. What is the moon symbol from? Are you talking about my necklace? Because I have a lot of moon stuff associated with my life right now. But this is from the store. Yeah. Who's my favorite cat? I don't have a favorite cat. No, I have 4 cats, and they're just all my cats. They're all my little babies. Will I do a Discord server in the future just to chat about Mooncall? That would actually be a very good idea. You know, doing these live broadcasts really gives me a lot of great ideas for what I probably should do. So, maybe. I mean, I already had a Patreon set up that I was putting a whole lot of, like, lore stuff. Like, I was writing, God, just so much lore. And I was doing, like, 7, like, 1 word per day in 4 different languages on my Patreon. And then that kind of fell apart because the people that I was, the people I was working with and me just couldn't keep up with it, and it was too early. So we're going to put that on hold, and then, anyway, but, Bimo, please get out of the closet. Sorry, my cat. Have I listened to the podcast Lore? No, but I watched Lore, on Amazon. So, yeah, actually I write to lore a lot. It's just kind of a good thing to have in the background. So, there are a lot of people asking if I'm going to come back to YouTube. I talked about this in my last broadcast. I plan to, in moderation, eventually post on YouTube. I don't think that right now is a good time for me to do that. But I'm not going to delete it and disappear. I'll return to it eventually. Not as avidly as I was before. I just don't feel a connection to, you know, sitting in front of a camera and talking about things that I don't care about anymore. So my video topics will likely be very, very different if I do go back. Yeah. Do I still play WoW? This is another question. No, but I play it in my head almost constantly. So, what do I do for work? I'm very blessed to say that the books I've been writing have actually been enough to keep me afloat, like, more than anything else I've done. So, author, yeah. Am I active on other social medias? Yeah. One other social media. I check Twitter pretty often, but I do go on hiatus very frequently, and for quite a long time, because it's just kind of hard for me to, like, really do what I feel like I have to do when I have influence from the internet. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, I just get very, very stressed out when just in general, when I even open, like, a social media app. And that's not good for me when it comes to writing. So, how does one go about getting an autographed copy of my books? P.S. People keep... Excuse me. Wow. Look at this. Isn't hair amazing? Stop it. Okay. So, for the people who are talking about books... Crap. That's fine. For people who are talking about books, it's because I just put out my second book yesterday. Forget this. Forget that whole gray band right there. That's just a proof copy. This is actually, like, a copy that no one else can own in the entire world. But I put out my second book yesterday. And these are the two books together. And fun fact, some people have noticed, but I figure I just might as well say it because it's not a secret or anything. But there's 6 books in the series, of Moon Colors, that I have all of them planned. I know what all the covers look like. I know what all of the titles are, and what happens in all of them. But when they're all completed, all of the covers will line up to look like the inside of a cathedral. So that's why they're all stained glass and statues. So, yeah. Eventually, I want to make a really, really long poster that has all the covers without the titles on them. So it'll just look like a really long inside of a cathedral. Yeah. So, forgot why I started talking about books. Oh yeah, someone asked if I was going to do book sign. Sorry, my cat just booped my foot with her nose. But yes, I will have to do the, facilitate the book signings, and have to sell them myself, because since I'm using my desktop for light. Okay, I'm using my desktop for light because I don't have any other better light source. I do the publishing, everything myself, and the distribution is through Amazon, but they can't do signed copies because they print on demand. So if and when I do signed copies, I'll be sending it to you directly from me. So that'll be pretty soon. Yeah. Please do a book tour. you would not believe how badly I want to do that. However, that requires a whole lot of money, and probably an actual serious know what I'm doing manager. Yeah, need to work on that. I'll get there. But right now I'm still in the beginning stages. I'm still doing all of this myself, with the help of several of my friends. But you know, it's not like a possibility right now for all of us. So, do I have any other jobs? No. Nope, I do this full time. And by full time, I mean like usually 12 to 14 hours a day. You would definitely go. And hi, my friend from Ireland, I see you. Huh. I think about you whenever someone says Ireland. Yeah. Do I ever miss my favorite hill patch of grass? Yes. For those of you who have been around long enough, in the backyard of my old house when I lived in California, there was this hill that was just this huge patch of grass. And in California, there's a huge drought. But that grass always grew, and Beamer was playing with something. And I used to always go there. But now I live in the desert, and there's no grass. So yes, I miss my grass patch a lot. Any chance my books will be audiobooks? Yes. Whoops, sorry. I'm like knocking everything with my giant knees. Yes, I want to make my books audiobooks. And I was actually thinking about how I could go about that last night. I could do it myself, but it would take a whole lot of trial and error, and a whole lot of editing, because I'm not very good at reading a whole lot of, consecutive sentences at a time, because I stumble on my words, and then I try to fix them, and then I start laughing because I messed up. So, you understand. But I'm working on it. I really want to make this as accessible as I possibly can. The book series, I mean. Where do I live currently? Desert in California? No. I live in the desert in Nevada. So, yeah. Do I read my own books? Bro. I know the books I've written front to back, practically sentence by sentence. Because the first one, my best friend, she edited. And then the second one, she proofread, and my other best friend edited. So I was also, I did all of the editing and the proofreading prior to that. I hear you. So I know everything about my book. I could probably cite most of it just here and now. Anyway. Has anyone gotten their book yet? I doubt it, because when I released it, it said that even with Amazon Prime, it would only arrive on Sunday, so that's 2 days from now. The thing is that it's still a new product, and it's print on demand. So, and by the way, for those of you who just arrived, we're talking about this book, my book that I just put out yesterday. Look how thick it is. Damn, with 2 C's. Sorry. It's print on demand, so every time they get an order, they print it right there and then. So it's not like they have a bunch of copies ready. So Sunday is actually pretty damn early. Actually, it's earlier than they offer me as the author. If I try to order it as the author, they tell me it's going to take 2 weeks. So anyway, no one has gotten their book yet, I can guarantee that. However, the ebook is out, so on Kindle and stuff, so that's already available. So you can totally read it now, but if you want to wait until you get a physical copy, understood. I personally like to read physical copies as well. That book is almost as thick as your ass. Same. Same. Would I ever make a children's book? I actually started writing a children's book before I even started writing Mooncolors. So, like 3.5 years ago, it was about this little girl who meets like a dragon hatchling in the forest, and I forget exactly how the story goes, but it was something about like the dragon hatchling not being accepted by birds or by lizards, and the little girl understands, and they learn that it's okay to be different. It was something like that. And I have like artwork and stuff for it, but I never went through with it. Oh, yeah, for people who are wondering what my mug says, it says, may the bridges I burn light the way. And my friend Bree got it for me. Yeah. By the way, for the people who are saying that will I be making more books after Mooncolors? Yeah. Actually, I've been taking about 1 billion notes today on a trilogy that I'm planning after Mooncolors, which is going to be like 5 or 6 years maybe in the future. But yeah, there's other stuff planned. And what's great is that it all takes place in the same world. So Mooncolors will allow you guys to get used to the world of Amniven. It's kind of like, I feel really wrong comparing myself to Tolkien, but this is the only comparison I know. It's kind of like how Tolkien, wrote The Hobbit, and then Lord of the Rings, even though it connects directly to The Hobbit, takes place in the same world. It's like that, except what I write after Mooncolors would take place in the same world, but not so directly connect to the Mooncolors series. And there's also a series following Mooncolors that I already have planned, and I know exactly how the 6-book series of Mooncolors ends, and I'm going to end it in a way that allows a second series. I like talking about this because it makes me feel like I have my life planned out, which I totally don't. But it kind of gives me that illusion. So, it sounds complicated as hell? Well, you said AF. Okay, it sounds complicated as fuck. Yes, it does. Yes, it totally does. It is. It's super complicated. It's really complicated. I kind of lose my mind sometimes. Okay, sorry. Is my book based off real mythology? I mean, some aspects are. Like in the 3rd book, which is probably another year off from now, I base one area off of Norse mythology. It doesn't follow like the actual gods of Norse mythology, but it's inspired by that, the atmosphere of it. The divines of Mooncolors are in a sense inspired by Greek goddesses, but at the same time they're nothing like them, because the way that the P.S. for new people arriving again, we're talking about this, my new book. So, hello, welcome. Okay, the divines in Mooncolors, or the divines of Amniven, which is the world. The way it goes is sort of like, oops, desktop, fell asleep again. At the top here you have the Lemuria, which the Lemuria is the universe. And then the universe created a daughter. The first daughter is the sun. The sun became lonely. The Lemuria created the moon. They became sisters. And from there, a third greater divine of the spirit plane, was created, a child. And those 3 divines work together to create a planet, which is Amniven. And on Amniven, you'll see in the second book, there's a whole lot of lore about how the planet was actually an egg formed with what was supposed to be the fourth greater divine in the core of the egg, but it turned out to be a planet. And from her were born the rest of the 10 goddesses. So, lore, you know. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done talking about goddesses. And then there's there's like 12 gods, and then there are like secret divines that have been totally forgotten, and will my books ever be available in stores? Working on it. It's kind of hard to do it by yourself. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do expanded distribution in a bookstore sense, but I'll get there. What a Kinder Egg. Are you asking me what a Kinder Egg is? Chocolate egg with toys inside that are very easily swallowed. Yeah. You love my brain? Thank you. There's a lot going on in there. Do I still have Zaya? Of course. Zaya is my cat, by the way. He's 33 pounds. He's in the other room. He's my big, like that big. That was a very horrible. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I finish Moon Callers, will I pick up the graphic novel again? That is entirely up to my cover artist. Because my cover artist, and he's like one of my best friends in the entire world, he didn't feel like he could do it right now. And I totally understand that, because that's a huge undertaking. And I think he wants to wait until the story is more developed. So I think it will happen eventually, just not right now. So, but a graphic novel for Moon Callers? Are you kidding me? I mean, even the couple of panels that he did for it, those are damn good. How old is Zaya? No, he's 9. He's 9.5. 9.5 years old. My cat. Did I do the artwork in Moon Callers? I did all of the chapter artwork for the first book. So all of the chapter headers in this book, I did. I would say about 20 out of 35. In the second book, I did 20 out of 35 of these ones. But my cover artist did some of them, because I was just so overwhelmed with the artwork that he had to help me. So like, here's a good example. Like, here's one that, here's a chapter header that I did. It's like a body in a chair on a stage. Not gonna explain that. And then my cover artist, who is a freaking amazing artist, did that one. And many others of a character called Spymaster Ruri Nairn. Total badass, just a sick ass lady. How did I start writing and what inspired me? You ready for some really emo shit right now? Sorry. But basically, at the time that I started writing this, first off, it started as my Demon Hunter's biography, like roleplay biography on World of Warcraft. But then I changed her biography so much that it wasn't any longer Warcraft lore. So I just made applied my own lore to the story, and it became a whole other different universe. But the reason I started writing it, it wasn't even like a story at first. It was just about Lucia, which is the main character. Also, for the person has to go. Bye. I love you. It was about a character called Lucia, And that was sort of my way of putting myself into a world that wasn't this one. And so I created characters to surround myself with that were less of characters to me and more so friends. Because at the time I really didn't feel like I was allowed to have friends, for reasons I won't get into. So I created friends instead. And eventually I became so attached to those friends that they became so real to me. They're still so real to me. Like, I can look across the room and see any of the characters that I've created as if I'm looking right at them. And you know, it's like such an amazing sensation because I've never been able to do that before with anything. So basically, Mooncolor started with me making up friends because I couldn't have them in real life. And then it became so real that I just had to keep doing it. Yeah. So, must be the drugs. Maybe if I did drugs. Can't do drugs. Tried it. I get really sick, vomit, and fall asleep. So, yeah. If Lucia were a color, what color would she be? She would be royal blue. That's like her color. It's like that really obnoxious blue. That's like, you see it in Christmas lights sometimes. It's that blue that you drive by someone who's decorated their house for Christmas, and it's just like a blue that really hurts your eyes. That's the color Lucia would be. Yeah. So, anyway, you designed a hoodie for collars? Sorry. Oh, Chanel! Hi, Chanel! Hi, sweetheart! Hi! I'm sorry I haven't replied to your emails. I've been, first off, everybody in my house is sick, so been dealing with that, and I'll reply to it after this, I promise. But it's my favorite color too. Do I plan on making a movie for Mooncolors? I mean, I wouldn't say I plan on it, because I have no idea how to make a movie. If I had the resources, which I hope one day I do, hell yeah. Except I would actually prefer it to be more of a series, because I'm going to rewrite the first book, basically. Not change anything, but just add things that were missing. So that's going to make it even longer, even more complicated. Second book's already complicated enough. Third book, way more complicated. I think it would be way too much to add into like 6 movies. So, yeah. You think I'm the best person ever? I beg to differ. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Really. You prefer it as a series? Is there so much content? Exactly. I think in a series there are so many more options for expanding in character development senses, as well as story senses. So I would totally prefer it to be a series. It would probably have to be HBO because, or Netflix, or something, because eventually in the series it gets pretty dark, like in a probably not going to be allowed on cable TV sort of dark. Yeah. How was life as a scene queen? Cyberdite asks. I think my desktop going to sleep and my entire face going dark just about explains that. It was a very dark time. Amazon is another possible alternative. I watch most of my series on Amazon, so you are very right. Could you get a Mooncolors tattoo? Did you hear me stutter? I hardly stutter. I try really hard not to stutter, but I would die if you got a Mooncolors tattoo. I'm gonna get a Mooncolors tattoo eventually. Yeah. Actually, I have like an archive of possible tattoos that I might get. I'm so wise, and where did I get my wisdom from? I would argue that I'm wise about some things. Others, still completely a child. But most of the wisdom that I show, I got it from my dad. My mom as well, but my mom is a little less direct about it. My dad is kind of like the person that would throw me into a dungeon and like give me some obscure symbol and be like, the door will unlock when you figure it out. You know, that's, well, not really. He's never done that, but that's a good metaphor, I guess. So my dad, definitely. My dad is like, he's been like the top teacher for emotionally disturbed high school students in a county in California for like 20 years, and then after that he became a licensed hypnotherapist, and he's like a licensed Thai massage therapist, and now he's in Thailand with like his new girlfriend, I guess. I don't really know. Like, my dad is such a mystery even to me, and like he texted me last week and he was like, you know, I took this girl on a date and I banged her like a broken drawer. And you bet I was kind of like, Dad, thanks for telling me. So that's my dad. Yeah. Am I really from Ojai? Ojai, California, yes. I was born in Santa Barbara, California, and moved to Ojai, California when I was 4. Yeah. And then I moved out of Ojai when I was 20, just before I turned 21. Yeah, that's not an image to share with one's kids. I totally agree. But my dad, that's the reason I guess I can be very blunt, is because my dad is very blunt with me. Very. Mm-hmm. And then he proceeded to send me a picture of his girlfriend in Thailand while she was sitting in the waiting room of a Brazilian wax clinic. Anyway. Hello. Hi, Karina. I see you. I love you. Do I like Cannibal Corpse? I do not, because I have some very bad personal ties with Cannibal Corpse. Can't even say it. It's nothing against the band. It's just guilt by association sort of thing. How did I like Portland? Dude, if you can move to Portland, Oregon someday, do it. I only moved to Nevada because it was kind of like I couldn't get my own house in Portland. So if I could still be in Portland, I would. Yeah. Do I like reading manga? I used to read more manga when I was younger. Mostly when I was like 8 to 10 years old. And it wasn't even really reading, it was kind of just like looking at it. Because my stepsister, Solange, had quite a collection of manga, and I was kind of like, cool, backwards. But anyway. Is Portland as weird a place as you, me, her makes out? I don't understand. I'm sorry. Did I buy my own house? Oh, hell no. 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 Not to a place where I can do that yet. Oh. You live in Portland? I say hi, Portland. I have a stepsister? Oh, sorry. No, I guess I should say I actually used to have quite a few stepsisters and brothers. When I was younger, I had stepsister and stepbrother on my dad's side. They were really cool people. I just don't think I was in the right place to really bond with them back then, in the way that I would have liked. And then on my mom's side, I had 2 more stepsisters, one of which went to school with me. Both of those were very tense. So, do I regret deleting my old YouTube account? And thank you for being a fan of me. Thank you. No, I don't regret deleting it because if I hadn't deleted my old YouTube account, I don't think that I would have been able to heal in the way that I had to, because I had just turned 20 when that happened, so that was about 4 years ago, almost 5. I don't think I would be in a very good place had I not deleted it. So I don't delete it, or I don't regret it at all. Yeah. Toothbrush ass. Whoever said that. Yes, you remembered what I did to my stepsister. Yeah. Whoops. I don't think she knows. Do I have a Facebook? No. Well, yes. I have one. I have like 4 under fake names. Because my dad goes to Chiang Mai, Thailand a lot, and he can't text me. So, I talk to him via Facebook Messenger, whenever he goes there. And, yeah, I forget my login a lot. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Hi. You like my hair? Thank you. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's, loves to defy me. Plans for 2019. Finish the 3rd book. Yeah. Like what I've been, it's really weird because so much has been going on. I mean, I tell you guys that, I've been mostly doing work for the past however many months, and I have, but there's been so much more going on in the background aside from that I don't really feel comfortable talking about. And that has really interfered with what I really want to do. So my goal for 2019 is definitely to finish the 3rd book. I mean, I've already almost finished the first right for it, but I worry if I'm in a good enough spot to really connect to what I have to connect to in order to do it. So, that's my goal. Yeah, sorry. Hair in my nose. I also have to burp. Fun fact, I can't actually burp without vomiting. Wow, that came out really blunt. Sorry. Basically, my body has trained itself to hiccup instead of burp because I like barf in my mouth. Never mind. I don't need to talk about this. Someone on Discord tried to catfish me. How do you catfish someone on Discord? Does someone like talk just like me? Isn't Discord like mainly a voice chat thing? That's weird. How do I find the drive to keep writing? You have a hard time staying motivated. Okay, well, I guess have only been a couple of instances where I've had trouble with motivation. It's a very rare thing that I actually can't find motivation to write Mooncolors. But the few times that I have, the way that I actually get myself to start writing again is guilt tripping myself. That may not sound like a healthy way to do it, but every time that I lose motivation to write, I guilt trip myself by saying that the characters that I've been writing about and connecting with so wholly have been left behind, and I've abandoned them. So if I haven't written for a while, telling myself that I've abandoned all that I love, and imagining my characters sad to see me leave. That's what gets me back there. Because I cannot imagine, like, to me, my characters are as real as anybody else. So imagining that I've hurt them is just horrible to me. Like, I don't care how crazy that sounds, honestly. But that's how I do it. That's how I regain motivation that I've lost, is understanding the guilt that comes with leaving behind something that cannot exist without me. Yeah. Because if I don't write it, they cease to exist. My characters cease to exist, and to me that's like killing them. And yeah. So the way that I keep my motivation is I guilt trip myself purposefully into the reminder of mortality that isn't technically there in terms of my characters. So yeah. I'm glad that you relate to that and don't think it's crazy, because yeah, I think that really putting like a soul into your characters, whether you're writing or whether you're, drawing or anything, I think that is like such an essential part of art. Because, how are you supposed to connect with them? How are you supposed to be able to portray exactly what they're thinking or feeling or what they would do if you haven't done that? And so, of course, if you leave them behind, it's that might be the root of your problem, is not seeing your characters as something real. Because it's a part of you that is screaming for your attention. And if you neglect to hear that, then yeah, you might lose motivation. But the way to regain it is to listen and remind yourself that they are as alive as you, because it's a part of you. So, do I incorporate people from my life into my characters? Yes, I incorporate them, and that's a very good word. I don't think I would ever steal someone's story and apply it directly to mine. That just doesn't seem fair. However, I will observe other people in my life and create a story out of my observations. And this isn't like, it's more so like watching how someone is so obsessed with somebody else. If I happen to see something like that and I didn't previously understand it myself, I'll be like, wow, now I understand it. So, yeah, I do to an extent incorporate other people into my book, but it's very subtle, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, unless I mean to incorporate a person into a character directly, which sometimes I do. There's one character that I may or may not have directly pulled inspiration from a certain political figure. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. I'm rewriting what? I'm assuming you mean the first book. Yeah, the first book. The thing is, P.S. for new people, again, we're talking about this book, the first book, which came out April 21st last year, and this book, which just came out yesterday. Is this book bigger than this book? Wait, what the hell? Hold on. Sorry. Is this bigger? Sorry. Why is this? Nope, no, it's not. It's just me. Just me. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to be rewriting the first book in a way, pretty much just revising it to a great extent, probably adding about 15 or so thousand words to it. Yeah. What's the C in my middle initial for? Cleland. Yeah, that's my middle name. Cleland, so like Cleland. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What made me decide on the covers? Well, I've always really loved stained glass. And I kind of had, like, at first, the character that's on the first book cover, this, she was pretty much the first character to ever exist in this world, which is Osiren. She's the goddess of the moon. And for some reason, I never really saw her as, like, a human figure for a very long time. I only saw her as, like, a stained glass window in a cathedral. So I think that's because I remember writing a scene like 2 years ago or so that I completely trashed from the first book because it was just terrible, about the house of worship, and then I rewrote it for the first book, and that had a stained glass window over Saren, and I decided that would be it. And then I decided I could make every single cover a stained glass depiction of something. And then there's also, like, what people don't talk about very much is the statues at the bottom. So this one has the bear Ganra and the serpent Sithes, these are two gods, representing 2 months. And then in this one, the second book, it has 2 statues reaching out to each other. This one, I don't know if you can see on this camera, has lightning arcing off her arm. This one has an eel wrapped around her arm. So this is supposed to represent Shatar, the storm goddess. This one is supposed to represent Alatos, the sea goddess. And this one, her arm is broken. She's kind of crumbling. There's like rubble all over the floor down here. And that has a lot to do with like the subplot of the story, whereas the main plot of the story is here. So basically, like, all of my covers, they're supposed to represent the stained glass is the centerpiece of the story, and then the statues on the sides are the subplot. So that's how the covers decided. Yeah. I have to get Stars Wake to be a hardcover, I know. I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks revising the first book. So you probably could expect the first book to be out in a revised version in hardcover by the end of January. It wouldn't take me very long. You didn't realize that about the covers? I try to make the visuals pretty obscure. There's actually a whole lot of obscure everything in the story. That, you know, some things that are in the first book may not make sense until the 5th book is released. You know. So it's all arranged already. And, I mean, there have been so many, like, there have been a couple of reviews saying that it just doesn't make sense, that there are so many dead ends, and I did that on purpose. So I'm really not letting that bother me. Desktop fell asleep, sorry. I'm really not letting that bother me because I intended for this to happen. So, I could make a special set once all 6 books come out. Way ahead of you. I already know what the 6th set will look like, so. Yeah, I've already decided on like a box set and the way it'll look. I already know. What's the most in-depth in lore I've ever done? My phone's dying. Besides Warcraft? Sorry, my neck is dying, cracking. Lore-wise, Skyrim, or general Elder Scrolls, Dragon Age lore. I know there's more. I'm just not thinking. Diablo. I'm just gonna stop. Okay. Anyway, those are 3. Yeah, so. Why are people asking me to repeat this word? I feel like I shouldn't say that. I don't really know what it means, so I don't want to say anything that might be offensive, so I'm not going to. Oh, Witcher lore. Witcher lore, I haven't really gotten into that much, which I probably should. But I really should do that, shouldn't I? Anyway. Yeah, I figured it was something like that. I'm not going to say it. Don't worry. Yeah, The Witcher does have some good lore, and I know that without even knowing the lore. And that is enough to tell me that I forget what the author's name is for the Witcher series. But he did a damn good job. He did. Any tips for world building? Yes. The way, for me, that the entire world of Amiben was built was around one single thing. The only thing that I knew I wanted to be in my fantasy world was a tower of crystal. And so that's something that's a pretty central point in all of the books, is something called the Crystal Spire, which is also called Sira. So Sira is pretty much like the center, the cornerstone of the world of Amiben. So really all you have to do is have one thing that you want to build the world around. And one thing that I do that helps me visually develop a world is if you think of like a sci-fi movie where they have like those 3D holographic maps that like grow upward, if you can train yourself to look at the floor and see these shapes growing, it's probably going to be in a really, really random design. Just pay attention to that, because that's how I built my world. It was pretty much just like looking at the floor every once in a while and seeing what grows there and how long it goes. So pretty much like all of the maps that I did, it was just me staring at the floor until something appears. Yeah. So for a visual sense, that's my advice on world building. Otherwise, I suggest coming up with a few small concepts. Concepts in terms of like, it can be based off of sorcery, or like a kingdom or a tribe or something like that. Start with like something that only happens in a certain country, and then branch out from there. So it really oh no, my computer is freezing. Sorry. Yeah, it really depends on what you're willing to make of it. So, checking in on me for the first time in like 5 years. Do I even age? No, I don't think so. Because I do look pretty much exactly the same all the time. And it's kind of weird. Especially, I do my makeup differently, which kind of makes me look older automatically. But, yeah, otherwise, no. Sorry. Oh. Do I still watch anime? No. I think the last anime sort thing that I used to watch, or that I watched was Akira. And that was pretty much it. I don't usually watch things, especially while I'm working, because I don't want outside influence. But I haven't watched anime for a while. It's probably getting to the point where I should again, especially because I still haven't seen the second season of Attack on Titan. And people have been asking me about my opinion on it, and I am getting really curious. Am I an elf? I actually made a tweet the other day talking about how I'd like to think of myself as an elf, but judging by how I live, I would be like this disgusting goblin that just like eats onions like apples and like waddles around without underwear on, or like this weird like sock hat. That's exactly who I would be. I probably would not be an elf, honestly. That's just life, man. I bet Attack on Titan gets wild. I bet. Don't tempt me. Leda confirmed elfkin. I don't know. An ogre like Shrek. Dude. I wouldn't be opposed. Really. Yeah, it would be something like a Dobby sock. That's basically who I would just be, like Dobby but with more warts. And thank you, Bree, for reminding me that my stream is going to end in 4 minutes. Or 3. I don't know. But my stream is going to end in a couple minutes, bottom line. And just thank you guys for stopping in. And for the people who, came in and started bothering the people who were typing here, shut the fuck up. Thank you. Sorry. Not usually that assertive. And that wasn't even that assertive. But, shh. Stop. Stop bothering my people. Anyway. Yes, I will be doing more live streams over the next week, probably. I do have to take a break for like a day or so in between, because I actually get super like drained by talking this much, because I don't really talk that often. Anyway, for those of you who stopped in, thank you for talking to me, and thank you for making my night. And also, hold on, BMO down there says goodnight. And for those of you who have been a part of this conversation all evening, the place that you can buy, both of these books. I wrote these with my own 2 bloody ass hands. The link to buy both of these is in my biography, because I actually made a link thing today, so I don't have to, post individual links, and now there's a whole page for it. So if you like really, really dark fantasy that's kind of almost too dark for a lot of people, then definitely check out my series, because it has like elves and dragons and a lot of stuff that's not good. Okay, so pinky up, folks. I love you, and I will see you again soon. Okay, dark like what? Moon Colors is dark in the sense that I address topics that people usually do not want to address directly. Yeah. When will I have hardcover? Hardcover is out right now. Yeah. There's a hardcover version over there, but I don't want to bother my cat by going to go get it. Hardcover is available now, though. So, okay. I love you guys, and I will see you again soon, okay? Goodbye.